So I got some work done today, a little bit of work done today. I have not exercised today like I was supposed to. Oh, goodness. It was a little cold today, and maybe I'll exercise after I do my meditation tonight. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till next week. Um, but I just didn't quite get around to it today. Um, but I read my first book of the year, which was an audiobook, which was Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I had it on loan from the library, and I listened to it today. Mostly it was just kind of a quiet day at home. Not much difference than yesterday. But I worked on some poetry. I'm hopefully going to do some writing tonight. I wanted to work on a story that I had started at the end of December and get some work done on that. It's all hit or miss. But I downloaded a Kindle Unlimited book that someone had talked about on Blue Sky that was interesting, called I'm Sorry If I Scared You. And that was really interesting. That's the prologue kind of started in a way that reminded me of a screenplay that I had been working on called The Shadow on the Window. Hers starts off like a radio program about like aliens and things like that. And then it goes into this story about a woman who is on an abortion pill, and she's traveling home for Thanksgiving, and it's just this like I'm not sure. It's very wild, like the story that it's going into. It's intense. So I was reading that. It's a very quick read. Because I only read it for maybe about like half an hour, and I'm already about 10% of the way through it. And even my reading speed, it says I'm going to be done with it in about an hour and a half. So, and it's only about a 232 page book. So I'm hopefully going to finish that today, I think. I think that's kind of how I'm going to spend my night, is reading that book and see where the twists and turns go with that. I'm thinking about leaving a review I'm thinking it's going to be good, because it's already got me kind of like locked in. I don't know. I try not to leave reviews these days, just because I'm pandering to authors and things like that. I have a hard time with. I might leave a review on Fable or Storygraph and have it be like on an external site. Or I might write a Substack about it. I haven't decided yet. But I was pulling quotes from it, and I was talking about it. Because they talk about like certain themes about like sexual assault and things like that, and how it's like a generational thing. It's very interesting. And so it was moving me in such a way that I was really thinking about like, how we deal with generational sexual assault, or generational, like I call it generational curses and things like that. When we don't teach certain things to children about respecting themselves and respecting their bodies, and but the thing about it is it's not even that. It's young women that are held accountable. It's that we're not holding young men accountable of these things, and so they get caught in these situations that it's bad for them. And so we don't teach, it's not necessarily that they teach young women safety or necessarily, but we also don't teach young men not to do certain things. So it's just that these generational curses just keep going and going and going. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Um, Sorry, I just got really sad about it, thinking about it. Just like, yeah. My cat's coming to comfort me. Yeah. Um, so that was one book that I was reading. I was also reading Raybearer. I don't know if I have a sheet printed out for it yet in my book. I'll have to print a sheet for it. I did some work on the Analects today. I finally got through like 2 books on the Analects. So I'm making progress on the Analects, finally. Maybe I'll listen to a couple more. I find that when I get stuck on a book doing the assistive reader and having it speak to me really helps me get through some of those books faster, having it speak to me. Because then I'm just like having the text read to me and like looking at the text as I'm reading, listening, like looking at it. It makes the comprehension skills like go up significantly. I did that in college, like my master's degree programs too, is that I would sometimes just have the text, have the audio on the text speak to me. And sometimes you just kind of understand the text better when you're reading and listening. I think they call it tandem. But so it's just, yeah, I find that listening and reading is helpful in a lot of ways. And I find that I get through the text a lot when I get stuck in places. Sometimes like getting over that wall of, not wanting to keep reading by having it speak to me helps me stay engaged with the text, because it's sort of like I can, because there's something that like shuts off in my brain that I don't want to keep reading, but having it speak to me kind of like engages my brain in a different way. So then I can like still listen and enjoy the text while, because it's like, it's sort of like I can still engage with it, but in a different way. Or that it keeps me still engaged with it. I don't know. So just as an aside, if you're having trouble like engaging with a text, and because I have Kindle on my phone as well as I have a Kindle reader. But if you're having trouble staying engaged, if you're reading a text or reading, and they have apps for this too. You can take a picture of your book and like it'll read the text for you, but I think you have to pay for some of those. I think Google has some assisted stuff too. But because I wanted to download a program that had read it in like Snoop Dogg's voice and stuff like that, but that was like $100 a year or something. I think that there are other programs that you can download that are free. But so I so I yeah, I just, if you get stuck, just switching to assistive reader on your phone. I think that's helpful. I think I might sign up for Kindle Unlimited again too. Like, I have it until the end of February, but I think I might keep it after that because I'm finding that I'm still using it. And I'm getting my money's worth out of it. So I feel like it's worth it to use it. So, but I'm not using the Audible Plus as much because I get a lot of audiobooks on my Libby app. So I feel like it's just not worth it to keep up with the Audible Plus, but it's definitely worth it to keep the Kindle Unlimited. But so I'll probably keep the Kindle Unlimited in the future, but not the Audible Plus, because I get a lot of audiobooks from my library app. At least that's kind of from the hip where I'm at right now. Because I've been listening to House in the Cerulean Sea all December, like for half of December, and I haven't gone back to my Audible app in like a couple weeks now, and I'm still in the middle of that book, and I keep downloading, I keep listening to audiobooks on the Libby app, and I feel more engaged to listen to books on the Libby app rather than listening to audiobooks on Audible. And I don't know why that is for some reason, what the difference is. I think it's just because there's a time limit on how long I can check out audiobooks on the other app. So it's sort of like having that time limit of like how long I can check things out for makes it so that I'm more likely to listen to those audiobooks. Does that make sense? It's like owning versus borrowing. So it's sort of like, oh, I've got to get on that and I've got to listen to this in the next few days because there's people waiting to listen to this, so I should get through it really quick so other people can listen to this. And then you start listening to it and you're like, God, this is really good. And then like 12 hours later, you're done listening to it and you're like, well, on to the next person. Some people are like, oh man, the Libby app is toxic. And I'm like, the Libby app makes it so that my life takes a screeching halt and that I don't get anything done because I'm reading so much. All I'm doing is reading. Anyway, that's what's going on in my life. What is up with you? Wow. Probably should exercise a bit. Get some exercise in. Anyway, it was nice talking to you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you on the next one.